So again, this is the model. We're calling it Belarus. That's where she's from. Thank you, Sweaty Spaghetti. Good morning. So I would encourage all of you guys to save this chart. We will be adding it to the Notion as well. So now jumping into the explanation of the model. So the first rule that we have here is we need a higher time frame PD array. So that higher time frame PD array is going to be a 1 hour plus PD array. So it's going to be a 1 hour, a 4 hour, an 8 hour, a 12 hour, a daily, whatever floats your boat. She does use 3 hour as well, but 4 hours obviously more common amongst traders. So your standard time frames: a 1 hour, a 4 hour, a daily, weekly, monthly PD array. We just need some sort of higher time frame PD array. And then next, after that PD array is traded into, we're waiting for a 1 hour sweep, liquidity sweep. And so when I'll obviously explain how that looks, but when you trade above a high and then you trade below it, that qualifies as a sweep. And if a CISD forms, then you can go ahead and take that trade. So a sweep is just trading above it and trading back below it. We're not going to have any other mechanical definition or requirements for that. As long as it went above and went below, it's a sweep. Then the next thing we're looking for is a 5-minute change in state of delivery, which is basically an order block. So we did go over, she did. Hey Anya, if you want to hop up here with me, feel free to jump up. She did we in her original video discussing the model, she did say that she uses a inverse fair value gap, but in our meeting together she said she uses the OB more. And of course, we all know from having backtested Adrian's model that that's the number one PD array that we're using. In fact, in all of the trades that we took for that model, it always ends up being an OB. Even if we take an inverse fair value gap, even if we have a fair value gap or any other type of imbalance, there's always an order block. So the order block is going to be the PD array of choice for the backtest. Oh, interesting. I don't know why you couldn't just hop up here by yourself. Anya, do you have access to just jump in? I accepted, by the way, but... And then after the 5-minute CISD, we are just making sure that the RR is worth it. Okay, so the RR has to be more than 1 R. And these are the rules as such, right? So this is different from her first video that she explained the model. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's in her channel. If you search, one second, Anya, let me do it myself. All right, I invited you up. Try to accept it again. So in her first video, if you go to her channel and you search "from Anya has a video," you should be able to get to that video. And then if you guys need help with that, I'll drop the link for you. Good morning, Anya. But in that video, she mentioned that we're looking for a
I'll stay quiet. I'll just listen.
Okay.
But if something else pop
Okay.
up,
No, feel free to chime in whenever you want. After the 5-minute CISD, she was originally waiting for a confirmation with the hourly open. But anyone who trades knows that sometimes the hourly open can be like way down here. The candle opens, it runs way up, running into that higher time frame PD array, and then it'll create that sweep, and then it won't CIS or it won't go below that open until down here. But the CISD can occur way up here, right? And this in itself, just from the CISD until the open, can be a singular trade. That alone can offer 1 R. So in her trading and testing since having released that video, she discovered that the 1 hour open is actually just too long of a wait. So that's no longer a technical requirement of the model. So these are the rules. Very simple. Does anyone have any questions of that? I'll obviously draw a crude depiction of that now. So we are again just waiting for a higher time frame PD array. And again, this is going to be above 1 hour. So 1 hour fair value gap, 1 hour order block. As far as I know, there is no discrimination against PD arrays, but I would always suggest that it's going to be an obvious PD array, and the obvious PD arrays are going to be fair value gaps and old highs and lows, right? So those are actually the PD arrays that she taught in her specific lesson, but we're going to focus on highs and lows as well as imbalances. Of course, if there's an order block there or there's something else that you want to use, you can feel free to do that in your own trading. For the back test, we'll make it super unambiguous. Now, we wait for that 1 hour PD array, and 1 hour plus is not bullish, it's 1 hour or higher. And then we're waiting for a liquidity sweep of that PD array. So price trades up to it, it trades above it, and then trades below it, right? And then obviously, if this is a fair value gap, it can just trade into it. And then as price trades down, ideally what we want this to look like is we want this to be an old high, right? We want this to be a 1 hour high. So this would count as the 1 hour sweep. So we trade into the PD array, then we come down, right? And after we swept this high or we've traded below this high, this is now the 1 hour sweep. And then once we trade below that 1 hour sweep, we would have a 5-minute CISD here. And this CISD ideally would also be closing below the hourly open, right? Now, again, that's not part of the rule, but that you can assume that what's happening here is more than likely is trading below the hourly open anywhere in this price action going down. And as soon as we get the CISD, with using the swing high or the swing low as our potential stop loss, we want this to be at least a 1 hour trade. So then if we enter 1R, we're looking to short this, right? This would be the idea, the trade idea. We want the idea alone to be a 1R trade. But the way we will trade it is with risk sinking. So then this entire area of stop loss, we are going to divide by 3. And you can do this with a simple Fibonacci, just, 3366. I have it saved here as risk sync. If you need those settings, I can share that with you. We will divide this section into 3. And we will divide this trade idea now into 3 separate trades, right? So I'll move this over. And our first entry, the most shallow entry, which would have actually helped us get a lot more entries when trading Adrian's model, is we would have our first entry right at the top of the zone, or right at the top of the CISD. The second entry is where that trade idea or that entry would stop out. And then this would be the second third. This would land in the EQ to OTE area of the retracement. And then the last one would be in the 0.79 retracement level or area of the retracement. So if the second entry gets stopped out, we will have this third entry as the final, and then its stop loss will be the complete invalidation of the idea. Does this make sense to everyone so far? Good morning, John Vieira, Monsieur Waffles. All right, anything confusing here? Any outstanding questions? Okay, great. So obviously for the bearish situation or the bearish scenario, you can just you can reverse it. But again, the minimum idea is going to be at least a 1R. We are actually going to test both the 1R and the 2R trade ideas. So if everyone is all good on the explanation of the model, we're going to move right into creating the backtest notion for this. Okay. So Let's minimize trading view. Anya, if you want to speak to the audience, feel free to jump up now and talk to them. Guys, if you guys have questions for Anya, feel free to ask away. Making the sheet is going to be pretty boring. It's going to be pretty straightforward, I think. So what I'm going to do to start out is I'm actually just going to duplicate this model or this sheet simply because this we were using as a 5 minute as a 5 minute model. And so because this is a 5 minute model, I'm also going to duplicate it. Let me just make sure I duplicated it the right way because sometimes I do it wrong. Okay, there we go.
Oh, if you guys have any questions, just let me know, but just explaining it extremely good, and I'll just want to see and listen, and I'm excited to see the long work that we have had. So I'm gonna be here, but I'm mostly probably gonna stay quiet, and if I have anything to add, I'll definitely pop up.
Okay, sweet. Thank you so much, Anya. Vinay, we're gonna focus on old highs and lows and fair value gaps. If the order block is obvious and everyone can see that it is an order block, then yes, we will use the order block. But I find the most unambiguous PD arrays are old highs and lows and fair value gaps, which I think
Yeah, so
is.
I do use pretty much Ferrara gaps order blocks, exactly as you said, when it's obvious,
Mm-hmm.
and highs and lows, exactly. These three, pretty much.
Great, thank you. So let me just. I guess I'll upload the chart onto. Hold on a second. I think I have it somewhere. Wonder if I can drag and drop. Yes, let's go. Okay, so it'll be this model. So I'm basically, again, I'm just using the same exact sheet that we've been using for a previous backtest, and I'm just editing it to fit the Belarus model instead. Is there a time limit after the hour sweep? Like, let's say if it's X55 of the hour, I would expect to wait for the new hourly candle. Yes, you would wait for the hourly candle, but if the previous hour was a sweep and you're still waiting for that idea to pan out, you would wait for that idea to play out in the next candle. Like, if, for example, if the CISD occurs at 555, you can enter on the next candle at the open, right? And again, the confluence there is going to be that the next candle, when it opens, you want it to trade above or below the open in the direction of your trade. Does that make sense? And obviously, we'll learn more context of the model as we backtest it. All right, so let me just make this super quick and delete everything. Again, we're waiting for a 1 hour PD array. Goodness, Notion. Then we are waiting for a 1 hour sweep. 5 minute CISD. And the idea has to be more than 1R. Very clean, simple rules. So now if you're ever duplicating this sheet and you want to use it for your own template, you would just select everything and delete it. I had someone DM me about this yesterday. They said, "Do I have to delete everything manually?" I said, "Yes, you do. This is not that hard." So you just keep selecting. It only lets you select what's on the page. So, and there we go. We have a blank sheet now. So for the testing itself, um, date, day, position, entry, time of entry, time of exit, duration. Now, this is where we can start to edit things specifically for this model. So we were tracking the 4 hour candle that the trade idea for this backtest idea. This might be hard to do, but like track each account's balance RR for the listings, if that makes sense. So we're tracking every entry, but we're not going to track it in account style. We're going to the way I'm organizing it is for 1R and 2R. it'll be, for example, 1R entry 1, 1R entry 2, 1R entry 3. That's actually why I labeled it like this. And then for the 2R ideas, it'll be 2R entry 1, 2R entry 2, 2R entry 3. So what that's going to look like in the backtest sheet is 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3. So yes, we are doing it that way, but not in the form of balance, just in R's. But it'll always, because the trade idea, we're basing this on trade ideas, and we're always splitting the stop loss into three. The R will always be this R. This R is like, I don't know if you guys have used your RR tool that much, but if you're always aiming for the same type of fixed stop loss, and you're always aiming for a 1R or a 2R idea, this R always ends up being the same. What changes is the size of that R, the points that are in that R, right? But the R risk to reward is actually always going to be the same.
Yeah, we pretty much what we want to get. We want to get the separate win rate for entry one, entry two, and entry three in two different scenarios. 1 to 1 R to risk to reward and 1 to 2 risk to reward. And getting this win rate, you can actually calculate the potential balance for your each separate account. That's what
Yes.
you, if that's what you were interested.
Now I put this question forward to everyone that's here. Do you guys want to track this based on what 4-hour candle it's occurring in? So I'll show you the options here. 2 to 4, 6 to 10, 10 to 2, 2 to 6, and then again 6 to 10, 10 to 2, right? So this is tracking the entire every single trading 4-hour candle of the trading day. We can track it according to what hour it's occurring in, or we can track it by session, right? Now the obvious problem with the sessions is going to be like, we have a session that's from 2 to 5. It doesn't then capture the entire 4-hour candle. And then we have this pre-market area of 5 to 8:30. Then we have New York AM from 8:30 to 11. So we break it up a little bit more, I don't know, less fixed, right? And so because of that, we're going to just we would be labeling the sessions: pre-market Asia, Asia session; pre-market London, London session; pre-market New York, New York session. And then we have, lunch, we have PM session. And so it would be divided into that sense, which are a little bit more nuanced, because every session isn't exactly 3 hours, or every pre-market isn't exactly 2 hours, and things like that. So I'm curious how you guys are interested in tracking it. Again, and obviously the previous backtest for Adrian's model, we did it by 4-hour candle, which is pretty simple. There's only 6 options. I think we're gonna land around 6 options or more if we tracked it by session. But what are you guys interested in seeing? I'm not going to track quarters in this model unless Anya wants to know, but because it's not part of her model, I don't think we need to add an extra step to backtesting it. Because if you know me, I like to keep the backtest simple. The more items that we have to backtest, the more,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, the harder the backtest is, the less we enjoy it, the
Yeah.
less we
I don't
want to
use
do it.
quarters
Yeah.
in this model.
Right, LMA. I'm asking the question: sessions or 4-hour. Those are the only two options. So, okay, two people said 4-hour. Does anyone else? Cypher. Yeah, so I think session would be helpful, just because people in their mind refer to price action in sessions. But we can also, it's just as easy to refer to in 4 hours as well. So whatever you guys are more interested in seeing. Session or 4-hour. And then we can also throw in a wrench and even offer the 3-hour. Okay, it looks like we're pretty split on the idea. Okay, Angel came in and broke the tie. Okay, everyone's saying sessions. Okay, so we'll delete all of these, and we'll start with this one here. Let me just delete all of them, actually. Did I unlock everything? Locked. Okay. I can't edit this. Why can't I not edit this? Oh, that's why. It's not locked. I mean, it wasn't unlocked. Okay. So we'll change this to, let me just, Asia pre-market. Asia. London pre-market. London. New York pre-market. Oops. Oh, wait, no. That was the right one. And then New York AM. Then we will have lunch. We will have New York PM. And I guess after hours, which would be like, I guess we're not going to let anyone trade after 4. So New York PM is going to be the end of it. I don't want to encourage you guys to trade after 4. So now we have to define what the session hours are. So Asia pre-market would be 6 to 8 p.m. I should do this in military time for you guys. So it would be 1800 to 8 p.m. 2000. Asia is technically Asia range, is what most ICT traders call it. I don't know what you guys call it, but Asia range. It would be 2000 to midnight. Any qualms with that? Does anyone have any issues with that? Does anyone disagree? 2000 to 8 to midnight. And then London pre-market would be midnight. Oh, sorry. Oh, yes. Midnight to 2 a.m. Oops. London is 2 to 5 a.m. 200 to 500. Sorry. And New York pre-market is going to be 5 to 8:30. So see, it's not as defined. 5 to 8:30. Now this is the big question for me. New York AM, is this 8:30 to 12 or 8:30 to 11? For all of you, you guys can take a vote on that. Anya, do you consider it to 11 or do you consider it to 12?
It really doesn't matter. Like, I think we can do for till 12. So because then I have a stream time
Oh yeah.
at 12.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is my time, so I can have a clear information about the potential of this model appears between 12 and 2.
Perfect. So then we have lunch from 1 to from 12 to 1:30, and
Yeah,
then PM session is
that's
1:30
great.
until 4. Sorry, I started in the military and then I ended not military. 1600. So 13:30. There we go. Okay. Does anyone have any argument against these session times? This is actually a big debate, believe it or not, amongst traders. We are not, again, Merch, we're not encouraging anyone to trade after 4, dude. So everyone, or most, I would say half the traders are probably trading Top Step anyway, and your trades are getting closed at 410. Okay, so let me change this to session. Now the next option is quarter. We're not going to be using this, but one thing that we want to add here. Wait, let me go back to the rules 1 second. We need the candle sweep. The sweep is mandatory, so we'll change this to a checkbox instead. So change property type from select to checkbox. And then we're looking for a 1 hour sweep. So again, this is a rule of the model. right? So because it's a rule of that model, this should always be checked. This is actually not a parameter that we're backtesting for. This is a safe check so that when we're backtesting it, we always know, that we got the sweep because we checked this, right? Again, if we're not checking this, then this should not be a trade idea. So that's the only reason it's going to be in the sheet, is that it's a fail safe so that we know we're following the rules. Does that make sense to everyone? And she does not require OTE as well. So then now this changes into, let me delete this. Actually, we'll use this for the PD array. All right, so
Yes, because
now,
you remember, yeah, you remember we were talking about the PD array, so we want to get information if like PD array and without PD array, like if we just clearly have all the setups, but we didn't tap the PD array, let's say.
yes, exactly. So that's what I was gonna say is we have two ways that we can track this. Is we can track the PD array or no PD array, or we can track this with PD array and time frame alignment, or no PD array and no PD array without time frame alignment. Right, so these are the three options, because we're also talking. This is the only model that we've back tested, or that we so far, where it applies a higher time frame narrative and it requires higher time frame PD arrays. Whereas every other model has kind of just only been same chart, right? So let me explain. The time frame alignment that most traders use is a 4-hour entry with a weekly from a weekly PD array, a 15-minute PD array from a 4-hour, sorry, a 15-minute entry from a 4-hour PD array. So those options would look like this, right? So 15-minute 4H, and we would select it if it's there. And if it's not there, then we would just have a simple NA, right? And we would just not, and show that we just didn't use a PD array and we didn't use higher time frame alignment. So now what I'm asking is, we can split this into PD array only or no PD array, or we can do this PD array with time frame alignment or no PD array with time frame alignment, or we can have just one category that shows all. Are we using higher time frame PD array? What alignment did that come from? Or are we not using it at all? Okay, thank you so much, Stefan, for participating. I love it. Okay, so we'll go with PD array only, and then we'll do time frame alignment as well. So I'll duplicate this guy. And I believe these are both set to select, meaning you can only choose one property. All right, so we'll go with PD array. So we'll go with old, highs, and lows. And we're not going to separate it into highs and lows, because that we would then be looking at everything in this sense of like longs and shorts. So we're just going to search the actual PD array idea. So OB, then we have fair value gap and inversion. Any other PD arrays that you guys want to track? Do you guys want to track all the PD arrays? Anya, do you want us to track all the PD arrays?
Now that's exactly what I'm usually using, the buy side, sell side liquidity, OBs on a high time frame, or fair value gap, or inverse fair value gap. That's actually exactly what I'm using.
Perfect. And then, so this would be, so if we're not using a PD array for whatever reason, we would say non-applicable. So this is in the sense of like, we're just seeing the sweep and we're choosing to take it because it looks good or something. We'll figure that out mechanically. But, no PD array or higher time frame PD array, and then we'll do the alignment on this side. So, hmm, sorry, sorry guys, clicking around. There we go. All right, so the first one, so our lowest time frame is going to be a 5 minute, since we're trading it on that. So it would be 1 hour daily. It would be 4 hour 1 week. And I think that's it actually. Are you using any other higher time frames, Anya? I guess the daily
No,
and the
pretty
weekly?
much for PDRA. For PDRA, I'm using the 1 hour the minimum.
Okay, great. You do use dailies as well though, right? So I guess I could add a
Yeah,
daily.
they already the 4 hour, like you usually, as I said earlier, 3 4 hour. So I like 3 hour charts as well, but I usually use 1 hour, 3 hour daily, and definitely weekly.
Okay. So we'll do weekly.
Weekly high, weekly low, like this kind of thing.
Technically quarterly. Okay. And then we'll throw in the 3 hour. What do you think is the higher time frame alignment for the 3 hour?
Like the higher, so I use it for weekly four, like basically weekly four, but I'm switching it to three, weekly of three.
Okay. Oh wait, you mean like 3 weeks?
No, because weekly, like weekly sweeps usually goes with a 4 hour alignment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically weekly chart going with alignment with 4 hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just switching the four to three because I find it more like reasonable,
Okay, sweet.
the
Sorry.
3 hour.
I was misunderstanding. Okay. So so same weekly for 3 hour and 4 hour, and I believe the higher
Yes.
time frame for 1 day is 1 month. I don't remember if anyone remembers off the top of their head. I'm pretty sure that's good. And then 1 week for sure is quarterly. I know. If you guys can double check me or correct me, feel free to. Would love that. So now this is how we're kind of tracking just the win rate. So it's either we got stopped out or BE. Oh, do you have a trailing method to go break even, Anya?
Uh, I when I trade, I do, but I don't really have information because when I back tested it, I was just either it's -1, either it's uh, a profit. So I think that this makes sense because stops are pretty tight and CISD can be tested twice.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I usually track it like either negative or profit, TP or stop loss.
Okay.
Like I
Um.
mean, we can add like it on a second idea, for example, when we track 1 to 2, right? The big
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
So we can do there like let's say stop loss after 1 hour, stop at break even if it hit 1 hour, like of the trade idea, not the trade itself, not the entry itself, but the trade idea. We can do this
So you're saying after it hits 1 R, then we
like
tr-
like
it.
second, yes, the second scenario when we like first one we're gonna test 1 to 1, right?
Mhm.
One
Yep.
one, 1 2 1 3.
I see.
Yes,
So
this. But for the second scenario, we can add the rule. I don't know if it has a good idea to add the rule like after it hit 1 R, like move the stop loss to break even. So basically, it's already going to be 3 R, 4 R, or 5 Rs on
yes.
those trades, but we keep holding them, right?
Yes.
Because it makes sense for the to track this information for the people like to move the stop loss to break even. For example, if the for second scenario, the last entry, which is for 8 Rs hit, it makes sense because a lot of people has a consistency rule
Yes.
and they don't want that trade go all the way down and they lose 7 R against them,
Okay.
which is we already pretty much in profit for 5 Rs and it's go like I don't know 6 7 Rs and then go all the way against them. They pretty much losing too much drawdown, so we can at least protect that 2 Rs already or 1 R or 3 4 or 5 Rs.
Okay. The
So that
only
make I
the
think that makes
only
sense.
yeah, the only issue with tracking just the second entries is that it's going to populate for all the entries with the
No,
first.
let's do not because like just leave it like that. I think
Okay.
because everybody can manage the profit the way their consistency works. So let's just do negative or profit. That's it. Because
Sounds
stops
good.
is already very tight, so
Mhm.
we're gonna
Mhm.
accept that tight stop.
Is everyone down with that? Does anyone want to track a BE scenario? I'm sure you guys are like on edge right now. But
Yeah, but
I'm also a trader that only goes TP and stop loss personally. I don't
yeah,
necessarily, yeah, so like generally speaking, I'm only going break even if I've had this trade on for like 6 hours, right? But other than that, by the time 6 hours hit, my TP is normally already gone, right? So if I'm stopping out, I'm normally stopping out within the first hour of my trade. Okay, great.
yeah. Not only just from my experience, because we kind of reach in 1 to 1, a lot of trades. gonna be either stopped really quick or go to target really quick. So you don't really want to do like during this quick time many actions like moving your stop loss, like canceling your um, risk sync orders. So it's better just leave it like this. And if it's hit the profit, one of the trade, you just cancel. You need to do only one action, cancel your risk sync orders. That's it. So it's just easier.
Completely agree.
Um,
Okay, so this is how I'm labeling it, guys. I'm doing, or maybe I should change the order actually. So it'd be idea one, entry one, idea one, entry two, and then idea one, entry three. So that's how, and then whatever TP is tagged, we would check mark it just like we did the standard deviations. Does that make sense to everyone? So when you're looking at it, it's going to look like Chinese, but those that are backtesting the model with me, you know exactly what it is. So idea one, entry one. I use BE, I backtested my trades. If I wouldn't move to BE, the result would be way worse. Yeah. So what she's saying is that like you guys can all manage your risk the way you want to accordingly. But because the stops are already tight on this entry, we're just going to track um BE or stop loss or TP. And idea one, entry two. So you can take the information from the backtest and manage your, go BE whenever you want to go BE. So for example, in my own on my own trading, I generally go BE after 2R, right? But 2R on most days is what I'm aiming for. So I usually just get out of the trade. And it kind of just depends. Like if this is a if I think this is going to be like a draw on liquidity that's going to aim for previous day high or previous day low, then I'm generally holding for that draw. And if I'm very like if I have high conviction for that trade idea, I'm holding for that and not necessarily closing at 2R. And if I think I'm on trend, I'm instead trailing my stop loss as opposed to taking profit. Most of the time, I'd argue that I'm counter trend because I'm always going short when the market is long. And as a result, I'm always taking profit at 2R. I'm not trailing my stop. Does that make sense to everyone? So I say that to say that everyone can manage their BEs the way they want. And as you practice the model and you're backtesting with us and you're looking at the data, you will get a good gauge of where you could be for your own risk tolerance. So idea one, entry three. This would be idea two, entry one.
because again, guys, if a retest coming and stopping us at break even, because CISD can be retested multiple times and trades still work, you're still risking 1 hour per account, but your potential to make 3, 4, or 5 hours, whatever account plays out. And that's for me risk worth the reward, because with this risk to reward, you don't need really a high win rate. And that's what we're aiming for. That, yes, we're assuming that some accounts on the way might be blown, but some accounts getting very fast to passing stage or payout stage.
Yeah, that's the entire point of risk sinking as well. Because if you look at it, right, if you look at the way risk sinking works, the loss that's occurring here is transferring into this trade on this entry, because when price goes back up, you gain what you lost here. Likewise, if you were to get stopped out on both of these accounts, all of these points transfer into this last trade, and all of the losses that you incurred here would be a gain on this account. So that's exactly what risk sinking is supposed to do. Thus, you're supposed to use fixed risks, right? If you're risking $1,000 on this account, $2,000 on this account, 5,000 on this one, you're not gonna get the same results as as having fixed risk across everything, like a fixed R across everything. Your results are a little bit more skewed. Okay, so now in that aspect, the R is always going to be the same. Do we track R? Because let me think about this, because it can hit multiple entries. We're tracking the win rate on every single entry. The R would more than likely be for How do we track the R? Let me think about this. Does anyone have any recommendations on how we should track the R? We can track it in the same way that we're tracking entries, in which like what percentage of trades are hitting this R, because again the R according to this image is always going to be the same.
I think we can just track two separate like columns,
Mhm.
like 1 to 1 and 1 to 2,
Mhm.
just straight without risk sync, just for those who are not using risk sync and want you, or like just simply use 1 to 2, because 1 to 1 probably maybe don't have doesn't have a set, but we can do this. Just for those who don't use a risk sync, just simple 1 to 1 and 1 to 2 for the trade idea, basically,
Love it.
not
Thank you.
entry idea for the trade idea itself.
Love it. Dude, I'm loving having Anya on stream, guys. You guys don't talk to us, but she's talking to me.
So I'm the one who interested a lot in that to get that very clear information because I never did that. Like I did a lot of backtesting, but never that deep.
Marco, I saved the max move so I can extract every R I want later from the sheet. Yeah, so that's actually what we normally do is we also generally track the max R. So I'll leave this RR for the max R. I'll just leave that on the chart and then that way we can see how far the model went past this 1R to 2R idea. But we're technically only backtesting this 1R and 2R, right? So at the end of every trade idea, what I can do is like I can just go for max extension, but again, it's kind of ambiguous because we should be aiming for a specific target. So, for example, I would say like the best scenario in this case is like we're aiming for previous day EQ or previous day high, and that's something as I can use as the max extension for the R, um, and then we can kind of just see where that lands. But we can even see like does it go to 3 or 4 R often, things like that. But I'll just do the max R for the last position that I'm putting on, and then we can track it like that. No worries, Blabsky, appreciate it. All right, and then chart and notes. Is there anything else that you guys think we should trade? We are missing the CISD. So hold on a second. I need to add a checkbox for the CISD. This should also be a checkbox. I don't know why it's not. Um, is there any characteristic about the 1 hour sweep that you want to track, Anya? I know we wanted to track does it trade below the 1 hour open or not, right?
Yeah, so I don't think we really need it. It's more like already, like as I said, in the last half a year, as I'm trading it much more. So it's often going to either happen in itself because often, as you explained earlier, when the price already go above, really above, that's 1 hour open could be actually already a target 1 to 1.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay, great. Thank you. No need to track it then. All right, so 1 hour sweep, and then we need the CISD as well. Higher time frame PD array. So again, we are mostly putting this in the sheet just as a failsafe so that we remember to do it. But this is part of the rule, so every single trade should have both of these columns checked, right? And again, this is just a failsafe for anyone that's trading it. If we're not able to check it, this should not be an entry point. This should not be a data entry. All right, and I think this is it. Does anyone see anything that I'm missing here? There's no BE, so we're just going TP or stop loss. Honestly, this is looking great. This is going to be a really straightforward backtest, I think. We shouldn't take too long to catch up with current data. Okay, everyone good? Any questions? Any comments from you, Anya?
no, I'm just nervous to get that done. I'll
No,
just
don't
smash
be
my
nervous.
data.
Okay, I think everyone is in agreement that this is all we need. I'm loving it. This is um it's basically all check boxes, right? So it's gonna be super clean. So let me look for a symbol for CISD. These are kind of the last things that just makes it super easy to. Nope. When you know what the symbol is that you're looking for, then you kind of just know what to like what to check. Let me just look really quick what would be a good symbol. Okay, there we go. Oh, go with the triangle. Okay, so that's a CISD. Stop loss is, I think that's as small as it can get. Oh, I can choose a symbol. Sorry, these are just kind of like the details that make backtesting a lot faster. Money. Oh, they don't have a 1. No. Darn, they don't have a 1. That sucks. Okay, RR. The squiggly up, down. Do you know what it's called? Squiggly up, down. On the top. Oh, this one? Let's go. That's good. CISD time. We'll go with this one because it looks like PD arrays. Uh, box. Sorry guys, I know this is like not I guarantee you this is what makes backtesting faster. I apologize. I know this is not what you had in mind. Um but this is one of those things that just makes backtesting super super quick because when we know what we're looking to check or what this means, we can get through the sheet a lot faster. So session is good, duration is good. Okay. All these I already chose an icon for in previous backtests. So okay, so see how we can see most of the sheet from like the beginning. So that way it requires less scrolling. That's why I wanted to add the icon so I can shorten every single one as much as possible. All right, so now we will get into what about if the target is within another hour PD array? Should we journal this one like PD array against this? Marco, can you rephrase that a little bit easier? Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Oh, if the target is in an opposing PD array, that's a good question. I think our focus is the R idea, right? And again, you don't want to track too many things because then it starts to get insane for what you're um for what you're focused on or like what you're tracking, and it makes the back test unenjoyable. So no worries, Marco. So I'm going to opt out and say no on that one because we're already just we're focused on the trade idea of being 1R or 2R. Okay. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Anya. Okay. Oh, baby change. That's hilarious. Sorry guys, I missed your comments. Missed explanation. Would you mind quickly going over it once more? Okay, Cypher. So one more time. I'm gonna re-explain this, and we're gonna hop into this week of price action to start going through it and start backtesting it. The great thing about backtesting models by mods is that we can simply go into their channels and look at what trades they took this week, and we can compare it to what we're backtesting or compare it to what we think we're seeing, and we can essentially use their trade journal to verify that we are watching this correctly or seeing this correctly, right? So that's the great thing about studying and studying other people's models, or specifically the mods models, is you have like a way to check your work, right? So um really quick explanation of the model is we are waiting for a 1 hour PD array. I'll jump into the chart here. We're waiting for a 1 hour or more PD array. So this can be a 1 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. And then after we tag that PD array, we're waiting for a sweep of a 1 hour. So when we trade into that PD array and trade lower, we ideally want to be trading below an hourly high. After we trade below the previous hour high, we're waiting for a 5-minute CISD. And the entire trade idea of the entire swing needs to be at least a 1 hour idea. Now, this 1 hour idea will get split into 3 trades. And we just divide that stop loss section into 3. And the first entry is going to be the bottom third, second entry will be the middle third, and the last entry will be the top third. And we will be targeting that 1R TP. As a result, this trade will always be 3R, this will always be 4, and this will always be 5 because we're always splitting it up into 3. So it just kind of naturally falls that way with a 1R idea. And if we were to make this any other size and change the size of these, because the stop loss is always going to be 1R, and these are always going to be 30% or 33% of this R, that R is always going to be the same. Cypher, are you with me? Does that make sense? Was that a simple enough explanation? Do you need more detail or do you have any questions? No problem. I will drop this chart for you guys as well so that you guys can save this. And you guys already have the other chart that I dropped the other day. Let me see if I can just drop this in the chart in the sheet as is. Nice. I can. Let's go. So now all of this is in the sheet itself. Oops, that didn't land in the right order. So you guys can see again, this is what we're looking for, and this is basically the bearish situation. But this is a crude depiction of the rules plus the model, and this is actual price action that we took from this week. All right, so now we'll get into the chart here. I'm gonna close this guy down. So we're on the 5-minute. Anya, do you trade continuous or do you trade front month?
What do you mean?
Do you trade the actual contract or do you trade the continuous contract?
Yeah, continuous
Okay, great.
with
Even
adjustment.
better.
Like,
What'd you say?
yeah, I have this button, like, see, be adjusted. Yeah, exactly, like you have.
Okay, great. And she has be adjust on. Okay, that's actually good to know. Let me document that really quick. Oh, I need to also rename this. What in the world is happening? Okay. What? Okay. All right, so we will go to the beginning of this week. Do you want us to start on the 1st of January, Anya? Or do you have any preference for where you want us to start? Like all of last week?
Mm, Whatever you guys comfortable, not
Okay.
much.
What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to start from the top of the year, January 1st? Or do you want to start from this week? Okay.
Maybe let's do maybe January 1st. So, but yeah, that was like holidays and but we can still do it. Like,
Do you
getting
trade?
a bad data is still a data.
Yeah, do you trade holidays?
I don't.
Okay, she doesn't trade holidays. Do you guys want to test holidays? Okay, great. Everyone's saying top of the year. So next question is holidays or don't test holidays. We're already trading. We're already testing every single session. We're not going to leave out anything. Um. Okay, no
I don't know if you
holidays.
want to use that indicator that I use for like drawing the hourly behind the 5 minutes, so it's just simpler, so you can see the hourly chart in the same chart.
Yeah, sure. I have one, but which one do you use?
I do use, I don't know if you want it on the side or behind the chart, like slightly behind the chart. Which one?
Um,
Let me give you two and you pick one. So the one I on the 5 minute chart, I use how can I
you would go
get
to you would click on the indicator, um,
an
and you would
indicator?
do about this script, and when you click on about this script, you have this these three ellipses to share the link.
Here where I come a
Oh,
little slow.
no worries. Oh my goodness, I just closed TradingView.
So
That's
I'm just trying
hilarious.
to open it
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Sometimes they name it different than that's in the trade time price. Where's this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a
Um,
blank chart, so I can just do it from a blank chart personally. That's but what she's talking about is the indicator that shows you the 1 hour candles behind the 5 minute candles. I
oh
used to
yeah,
have that indicator, but I don't remember what the name of mine was, and I have too many like favorites now. So, but I remember I used to use one exactly like that.
sorry. Oh, right here. Higher time frame. Like I don't know why I can't find it since let me screenshot it.
TTN, is that what it's called, Cozy? Oh, from TTN. Do you know the
This
name?
one, oh, but I'm trying to find it in my indicators now, and I feel my
So,
okay.
so if you're on the main chart, you can drop
Uh-huh.
down your indicator titles. So you just click on the prices up here, and then you check indicator
Wait,
titles.
wait. Again?
In the top left corner, you can right click your prices, and then you can
Uh-huh.
check your indicator titles. And then when you check your
Okay.
indicator titles, it'll drop down the indicators on your chart, and then you go to the three ellipses and you do about this script. And
Okay.
then from
That's
about
how
this, yeah, then from about the script, you have a link somewhere in here. I don't know
about
why I
the
have EMAs
script.
on this chart.
Okay. And what do I need to do? Like this one?
Yes. Okay, now scroll down. Okay, well, I can actually just find it from that. But you can scroll down and you'll have the ellipsis that you can share the actual link with me. Higher
Okay.
time frame
Scroll
candles.
down.
Yeah, you'll see it like right above the description or right below the chart.
All right, above the description.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah. You found it?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. I wasn't actually using that one. It was another. It was a weird name for the one I was using. I remember. Okay, so this is the indicator that she's using, so she can see the 1 hour candles behind the 5 minute. By the way, guys, if this is a skill that you guys don't have yet, where you can kind of see the higher time frame from the lower time frame, um, you should study price more because you'll get there for sure. Like where you can exactly kind of see where the 1 hour fair value gap and when the 4 hour fair value gap is, or where the OBs are likely. Because then you can kind of just watch your same time frame without having to refer to the higher time frame. It's obviously always good to refer to it just to double check, but you'll build the development and you'll build the understanding to be able to see like these higher time frame candles from your current time frame, if that makes sense. And again, it's just open, high, low, close, right? So that's how you can kind of map that out from your current time
Already
frame.
see our setup right there
Yeah,
that actually took.
exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the colors as you. What are your colors are black and white, right, Anya?
My chart is black and white, but the colors of hourly chart behind is exactly the base, the default.
Okay, great,
That's the way how you have, yeah, like this.
sweet. All right, so we're going to skip holidays because Anya doesn't trade holidays. Cozy votes C setup, trade setup. I kind of agree with her. I also don't. I technically I agree with her because I actually am not on the chart during holidays anyway. So for me, it's also C setup, trade setup, but I'm not technically ever trading on the holidays. So I kind of agree with both scenarios. Do you guys have any more input on whether we should trade holidays or not? I think Stefan voted for holiday. Um, Cypher said no holidays. So we're kind of split on that decision. But of course, Anya herself does not trade the holidays. So what do you guys want to do? No holidays. Okay. Tiebreaker. Thank you. All right. So pretty simple. Let's go into the 1 hour. Or do you start with the daily chart, Anya?
Yeah, I usually start with the daily, marking the highs and lows. So
Okay.
I obvious highs and lows of the daily, the previous day high and low.
Yeah. Oops. I already deleted my sell side and buy side. That's hilarious. I was cleaning up my things earlier in this year and I deleted sell side and buy side. Let me save this really quick for this back test. Sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity. I'm assuming everyone knows how to save a trend line as a template as well. All right, so sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity on the daily. I will also, since we're just inside of the fair value gap, I'm just gonna mark it here while we're there. Again, I'm just gonna make this super simple and I'll start with the time frame alignment of the daily 1 hour since we're entering from the
You can
5 minute
also
chart.
go to the indicator
Mm-hmm.
that we just made, the hourly, and just unlock it that it doesn't show on a daily chart.
Okay.
On daily and hourly, so visibility daily, hourly, so it doesn't bother
Yeah.
you there, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. No, we are going to backtest. Cause said, um, we will backtest Cozy's model at some point. It was on the table for sure. uh for what it's worth, I wanted to back test. I wanted to actually move higher in time frames, so I actually wanted to move to like a 15 minute or a 1 hour. But because Anya trades live and a lot of you trade with her and she teaches risk sinking, this I think is the most Kingline centric model at the moment to backtest. Like everyone should learn how to be risk sinking anyway. She's trading it live like every single PM session, so you know this is, you guys are risking your actual money with this. Well, not that you're not risking it with Cozy, but I'm just saying like we're using multiple Kingline concepts here. And if you guys recall the JD backtest for his Q1, what we did was we applied LMT's aggro idea, NQ aggro, if any of the OGs are in here. We were applying LMT's NQ aggro idea to JD's Q3 model. So this is the similar concept in which Anya has applied risk sinking to her model, right? So this is very Kingline centric. It's a 5 minute chart. Both myself, Adrian, and Anya trade 5 minute. Soy sauce trades 5 minute now, so there's a lot of 5 minute mods in here. So you guys should know how to trade the 5 minute chart, and you guys should know how to risk sync. So we'll get to Cozy's model maybe in 2027. Soy sauce has already reserved 2033, by the way.
Yeah, just go back on this indicator again and just remove this 1 hour, this numbers, because like it's just gonna bother you.
Okay, thank you. Um,
So it should be
Time
uh,
to close.
show time to close like this, yeah, and check it.
Show time frame to close.
It's just gonna be cleaner. Like I like when it's clean. And this 1 hour also the chart show in progress.
Uh,
I think this we should show
there
the
we go.
label. Yeah,
There we go. Thank you.
yeah. Now it's clean and nice.
Anya should get that Chinese hat to wear like just On her profile or in real life? On her profile. Go ahead and gift it to her, Soy. Okay, sorry. So we're in the daily PD array now. We're in the daily. I didn't go to the 1 hour, but we're waiting for a 1 hour sweep. We have a fair value gap below us. Do you apply any type of daily bias, Anya? I believe the answer was no, right? Oh, we have a
No.
okay, great.
Yeah.
We have a 1 hour fair value gap here that we've tapped into, and we're inside of the daily as is. All right, so let me close that. All right, so now we're back on the 1 hour chart. Again, Anya doesn't trade the holidays, so we'll skip through to January 2nd, which would be now at 1800. So now we can look at price action here. And we're not going to look back at any of the sweeps that occurred before this. We're going to look at current price action and wait for that sweep. So here's a new hourly candle. So again, this candle that just opened or on previous day, it already tagged the PD array. So we do want to see like another 1 hour sweep in here. Anya, what do you do in the case where we're like inside of this big daily array? Do you wait until we trade out of the array, or can we trade the
Um,
1 hour
no,
sweep?
because no, because we are like not we are inside it. We're not tapping it like from the button or from the top. Let's say if we are trading somewhere really below or really above, and then we come into daily PD rate, then I'm gonna wait it. But since I'm just dismiss it as a inside it.
Okay, so we'll just look for the sweep in this case. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, great. So no 1 hour sweep. The 1 hour low is here at the moment. So we'll just play. I don't want to play it too quick because I don't want to cheat. We're going into a new 1 hour candle now. There's like barely a wick on this one. New 1 hour candle. Ooh, I'm gonna like this. This is great. This is gonna be really great. This is gonna be a super fast back test, guys. We're just waiting for the setup, right? So the first thing that we're waiting for is for a 1 hour sweep. So we tapped this 1 hour PD array. We're trading now outside of this daily array. Let me just double check that I didn't miss anything. We don't have a 1 hour sweep, but I just want to see the 4 hours. So the 4 hour PD array is the same as the 1 hour PD array. It's smaller technically, but we didn't miss any 1 hour sweeps in that price action, right? So we didn't have anything to trade technically.
yeah,
Yeah, I thank you, Soy. Yeah, this is I like when I love mechanical models first of all. But when you just can click through and you can wait for the setup to happen without having to like, like wait and analyze every single thing that's happening, it's super easy. So now let me go back to this case right here cuz this is good. So in this scenario, we already had the sweep occur, right? We're below it now.
yeah.
Where would you consider the CISD? Because this is a point that let me just double check the prices here. Okay, so the CISD would be here, right? This low or this body?
Yeah. I think as I'm using the bodies. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you were to use this body, but we're above this bullish daily array, I think it's a bullish one.
So I would check on the left,
Okay, she would check on the left.
like
Okay.
go on the hourly chart,
Oh.
like or just on the 5 minute. Yeah. So you see we tap that's some buy side right
Mm-hmm.
there, which is has an hourly order block.
Mm-hmm. This guy.
Yeah, and hourly order block is still in play as well. Like,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're not trying to short into the hourly OB.
yeah,
Okay, perfect.
as we just changed the state of delivery on like I would like when I see that like hourly OB here,
Mm-hmm.
and for example we can sweep this, but then I really look, but this is something I talked with you on that session. I really look how the previous candle closed,
Yes.
because now see how that previous candle hourly closed above the hourly OB,
Mm-hmm.
like made pretty much made the CISD.
Yeah, made the hourly CISD. Yes. So we're
So
not
if
going.
it closed the
Mm-hmm.
week, so would not be able to close above and then sweep the high and do a CISD, then it would be way to go, like basically place a trade.
Okay, great. Thank you. So this is how we're going to apply a higher time frame narrative, guys. Exactly how she mentioned, right? So we're not going to counter trade into higher time frame PD arrays. There's another scenario that she basically mentioned is like, let's say we traded above this high. Let's say we even traded like way above this high, right? In that CISD, if we have a 5 minute CISD and there's one R into this higher time frame PD array because we think we're going to trade back into this 1 hour OB, then we can take this trade as long as it's at least a 1 R idea. Okay, so I've seen
Yeah,
her.
so
Sorry, go ahead.
that was another rule, if you remember on my video,
Mm-hmm.
that I have on my criteria is the risk to reward worsen. That means
Yes.
it has to have at least one R potential against the PD rate.
Yes, exactly. So I've actually seen her trade it live this way as well. That's why I'm mentioning it to you guys is because it was like a super clean setup when I was in that stream. And she was saying she even mentioned it on screen that like I there's a higher time frame PD array here. But we're gonna take it because it's worth it because it has that 1 R idea, and yet, and she took it and she won, right? So we would definitely don't want to miss out on those opportunities. Hey BNB, um, there we go. Okay, does your bearish CISD have to be the highest up close that makes the high, or can it be a down close that makes the high then closes the below the highest up close? Anya.
Does your bearish CISD have to be the highest up close that makes the high, or can it be a down close that makes the high?
So she's asking this candle right here that made the high. And obviously, we know we're not taking this trade, but let's say we're using this as an example. Does this candle that made the high, for a swing high specifically, does this
Yes,
have to be an up close candle or does this have to be a down close candle?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All
So it
right.
can be up close, yeah, but the candle that made the high, because sometimes, yes, it could be up close candle with a that plays a high, or down close candle which actually plays the high, but right away made a CISD.
All right. Now, for the bearish CISD, do you want us to close below the body of an up close candle or do you want us to close below the body of the
Below
down
the up
close
close
candle?
candle, yes,
Okay, the
yes,
up
below the
close.
up close, and if it's other scenario to the other side, down close, yes,
Okay.
that's right.
So let's make notes on this,
But in this
guys.
case, like I would probably use this imbalance. Like you see, like in this particular case, you have this imbalance between, because Asia session, you see that it has this imbalance below the down close candle,
Yeah.
the previous candle that if you mark,
Mm-hmm. This one.
like between no the next earlier. Yes, this one, because it
Mm-hmm.
has imbalance between these two. This black and next white.
Yes.
This, yes, right here.
So you would use this down close candle you're saying, or this up close
Yeah,
candle? Okay. Okay. Got you. I'm with you.
because we do have this imbalance. Like there is no way like to put the entry. If we close below the imbalance, that just makes sense that we can retest that imbalance, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. I want to make notes on this just because there's different definition amongst the mods. Um, for like or different definitions for our previous back test. So I just want to make sure that it's clear on this one. So let me. So a bearish CISD is going to close below up close candles.
Yep.
And a
And bullish.
bullish CISD will close above, good gracious, down. Oh my gosh, can't type today. down closed candles. Um, and the highest or lowest candle, I will just say is irrelevant for close. Is that fair? Everyone agree with this here? Okay. So let's move forward. Let's just keep trading. So again, we're not going to short into this, so we're not going to watch this anyway. We'll play it through. We know it traded higher. Because we're trading above this 1 hour PDR right now, this is the prime time to see a 1 hour sweep. And we've
Yeah, may
obviously,
I just explain Cozy a little bit of this picture that Cozy did? Like, yes, Cozy, I would take the second one where Jess marked it as well. And why I'll tell you guys, because yes, we have like a kind of OB, the first, the highest line that you Cozy draw, but you literally see this little 5 minute OB below and taking the trade right away, not taking the second one. Just doesn't make sense. And because we aiming like for the hourly candle to go to the hourly liquidity lower, like you don't like take this risk just to jump in the trade as fast as possible. If you see this complicated scenario when you have one little OB and another little OB in 5 minutes, just take the lowest one. If it work, it work. You still have a risk sink. If it doesn't, you're not gonna chase the trade too fast.
yeah, because the stops are already tight, guys. So like if we
Yes.
let's say we were using this entire zone as a stop loss. This is a really good session, Anya. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate you for being here. Let's say that we're using this entire stop, right? This entire stop is 14 points. Do you really need to make it, I don't know, do you really need to make it 10 points? Right? So like I guess Cozy does. but but we're already going to risk sync this, right? So we're already splitting this into three. So you have 14 points that are going to be divided into 5 point stops basically. Right? So you're going to have one entry here with the stop loss in that first third, and then if you're and then for the second entry, blah blah blah, right? Like I don't want to go into explaining the entire thing
Yeah.
again, but
Exactly.
you have
Exactly.
you have a 4.75 stops, cause you can do it. You can just you can take it in the higher third, right? um yeah. No, I like the debate. I really do, because it it shows people all ways of thinking into trading, and how we have two. I mean, we have some hitters in this chat, so I think we have at least 15 profitable traders in here, like overwhelmingly profitable. And we're all going in the same direction. We have a different inputs on this idea. All right. So again, what I was saying prior to that is that we're trading above this daily array. We're trading away from this 1 hour array down here, and we have a 1 hour CISD. Right. So what we want to see, or this is the prime time for us to see a low sweep for a bullish 5 minute CISD. And this is going to be super key in like recognizing these things for continuations. So see, we have the sweep of this 1 hour here. So this would be the 1 hour sell side. And now if we close above this down close candle here, we have our CISD. And let's see where our hourly open is. Our hourly open is here. So we already have confluence before we get to that CISD.
Now you see, guys, I've opened this candle. What we did on the previous candle, we make a little hourly fair value gap as well. So we making a sweep into hourly fair value gap
Mm-hmm.
after changing the state of delivery in hourly chart.
Yes. So this would be the 1 hour fair value gap here. And then we have a five, and this fair value gap is forming on the 1 hour at the same price level of the 1 hour CISD, which is this orange line. And then we'll see, but we're going to have hopefully a 5 minute CISD here. And we're trading above the hourly open, which is occurring here, right? So we've already formed the wick of the next 1 hour candle in this price action. If we continue to trade higher, the rest of it will form the
Yeah.
body, and we're
So in this
looking
case, I already gonna prepare like uh
stop.
limit, like change the size, like because I have like at least five 10 minutes before it happened to do all the job, finding how much size should I trade, like what's going to be my stop loss per one account, right? So that's why I like this model because it gives me time to do all this job.
Yeah. It's so funny too. She's hilarious on stream. I'm sure you guys have heard her and seen her, but she'll be like, "Hold on, guys, I got a lot to do." I'm like placing orders and moving my limits. So
Yeah.
it's you can tell
Because
she's
most of the time I'm talk and watch, and when this comes, then when I start working, like
yeah. So like by this point, she's already calculating. Okay, this would be what this looks like if we get the CISD, right? So we have a 6 point stop here. 6 point stop, and we'd be getting about 20 points. And see, this first idea is always going to be 3R. And so like at this point, we can wait obviously for the CISD first. In our backtest, we will, but at this point, we know that this is going to be the trade idea potentially. Let me duplicate this really quick so we know where the 2R is. Streaming is a lot of work even when you're not risk syncing, I will say. So kudos to her because I was not risk syncing on stream. I was trading evals in the background just like JD does. So if I had to risk sync on stream as well, I would have never answered the chat. When I was streaming, I
answer.
definitely I would be
Yeah, so
like
that's why when people talk to me about 1 minute chart, I was like, it's just impossible for me to do all this stuff in one
there
minute chart.
there was last week someone was explaining their model to her and she was like this is already making me nervous like reading all these rules in your in your model. She's like just make it simple. Like she read like I was dying laughing. It was hilarious. It's weird that on my TV that one candle was a green candle, but not on yours. NQ continuous. Which candle? Because we have B adjust on. So that's another nuanced thing that we can add to the rules is that B adjust should be on. Stuff in. I don't know if that's the thing. Yours is on. Which candle? Let's just knock this out now. So well, you can kind of just guess, right? Like you can just estimate. Like you have a 20 point stop here divided by 3, it's going to roughly be 7 points each stop. Yours is
It's possible.
on.
I do it. Like I'll teach you. You have here like the 5 minute, the
Oh.
next candle. You have 5 minutes for the next candle to close about even the next candle do a CSD. So you can just put these templates one below each other and just switch the accounts and just execute like put the ATM orders and that's it. Just wait, whatever happened. That's what I do.
Hmm. I don't know, Stefan. I don't know why it's on it's green on yours and it's down closed on mine. Oh man, I messed it up, guys. I'm so
Maybe because
sorry.
you have M&Q, Stefan, and she's on a Nasdaq. Maybe that one.
Oh. Yeah, are you on MNQ? That's probably right. Should I be backtesting MNQ, Anya?
I don't know. I think it doesn't matter. Like this usually
Guys,
doesn't have
sorry.
big like.
We cheated. Yeah, no, I say NQ personally, but I've always advocated for charting on NQ and trading MNQ personally. Okay, with be adjust on, yes. Okay, so we do see that I cheated a little bit. I kind of played it forward accidentally because I turned B adjust on and off. So we don't actually have the CISD yet. Notice that we did not close above the body. These details matter. So we don't have the CISD just yet. We wicked it. We're going to apply this mechanically, so we do want to close above that CISD. Anya, can you confirm that that's the right mentality?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So orders are ready, but they're not executed.
All right, so
Now
now
it's
that we've closed above, she's going to press buy, or we're all going to press buy. So all of our limit orders for these 3 entries would be placed. So if you have 3 DOMs up, you would place your entries then. If you are on trading view, then you would have your trade panel up. here on this side, and you would just press buy at the point in time of trading below I mean above that CISD. Now we're not again, like everyone that's backtested with me, we're not going to actually execute on market replay. We are just going to watch price action play out and assume that the orders are there, right? So again, we've already confirmed the CISD. We do have one entry ready here. So that would be the first one. And this would be the second. I'm not going to be so nitpicky upon entering. I'll fix it after
Well,
the
I'll worry
fact.
about this trade like I'm trading it.
Yeah. I wish TradingView played the price action like second by second, because then we would get the full gist of how long, or like, the full stimulus of like placing the limit orders for all of these at one time. Okay. I think we all have the same TPs. Okay. So now all these limits are assumed. Our stop loss would be at this low. That's how backtesting is. So when you guys start seeing me lose in backtest, I literally tell you, like, I have to get off the chart, guys. Like, I'm taxed right now. I'm emotionally distraught because I took these L's in a backtest. All right, so we'll do the 2R idea really quick. That'd be so funny if we get stopped out.
Because you draw it this time, but for the next time, you don't need to draw it. You just draw one to two, and then if it worked, then you can measure which one to work. So
Yes, yes.
it's just faster
Yeah, I'm just like,
first time. Yeah.
yeah, re-explaining the idea over and over again for the first session. All right,
Yeah.
so all of our orders are in place. Oh, don't go without this, dude. We're like nail biting over here. Okay. So this idea is almost reached. What do you have any rules about that? Like if the 1 hour idea is
Yeah.
already.
If it didn't hit my target,
Mhm.
I still in play. If it did hit my target,
Mhm.
then I'm out.
Okay. We're in our first
So
entry now.
yes,
Okay. Now
second over.
I want to ask you here. We didn't hit the target on this last 1 hour, right? But
Yeah.
we did create a sweep here. Is this idea still in play because we didn't hit that target? But we
This
did form another sweep.
yeah, this might be a complicated thing, but I usually try to follow the plan. Like
Okay.
if I already made the decision and my order's in, I'm not gonna change the plan right away. So that's why I have clear rules, because when I worry like this, not we like I worry right now, right? The trade worry. But when I'm in a trade and as stream at the top, like I'm trying not to change the plan. So I'm already accepted these losses. And if it's tapped me, I would be still on that trade because it never tapped my 1 hour move, right?
Yes.
So I have my simple rule, like for my psychology, that I already accepted the rule, like my target didn't tap, the trade is still in place.
Yes. Okay, so I actually am very in agreement with this. I am the same way. This is why I couldn't go short on Thursday, because I was already like committed to that long. So when I didn't get the validation of the long, I just simply took no trade and I missed out all on Thursday's price action. So I actually have the same frame of thought. But to add confluence to this, what I want to note is that we're still above this daily array. We're still above this bullish daily array. So it's easy to hold this idea because, like she said, a CISD can be retested twice, right? So if we're going to retest this 1 hour CISD, then we can retest it again without getting stopped out technically. It's very close to our stop, but we can still hold these last two entries if it does want to retest this. Along with that, we've closed above on an hourly basis. We've closed above this daily array, so we may want to test it before taking off. So far, we've stopped out of entry runs on both the 1 hour idea and the 2 hour idea. We are now in trade two on both of those, entry two on both ideas. There's TP. We didn't get the third entry, and we're
So yeah,
sky.
second entry it works on all the ways. One to one and one to two.
Yeah. So great. So we got 2 wins on that. So, and again, I want to reiterate the idea of risk sinking here. The losses that we took on these two trades, right? Entry one of the 1R idea and entry one of the 2R idea are transferred into the next account on entry, right? Because the same amount of points that we lost here, we're gaining on the second trade. If every, just if you're not processing that. Well, I'll clean it up a little bit. Okay, so we didn't get entry 3, so we'll delete entry 3 here. Right? We did get entry 2. We stopped on entry 1, so I'll keep that on, but we did get entry 2. Let me just actually don't know the best way to document this. But you can see we tagged entry 2, we tagged entry 2, like we're nowhere near the stop losses on that, and these are just 6.5 point stops. And then we hit TP in both instances. Are you getting are you is it the higher time frame candles that are killing you, or is it the multiple positions, Cozy?
Yeah, I think if you change the template color, because your template color, the risk to reward template, matching the color of the hourly candle, and that's why it's a little messy.
Dude, that's a good point. Okay, let me change. Let me think about this. Do I change the
Uh,
risk to reward, or do I change the higher time frame candles?
no, the risk to reward.
Okay. The
Just make
only
it maybe
the only thing is that
the
it
top.
huh?
You just like yeah, just
Pick a
yeah, right here, just put any like blue maybe like or
to make the up RR green and the down pink. Okay. So it's already green. Do you want me to change it to a different green? Like that kind of green?
yeah.
Make it darker. Okay. I'll make it darker. Like that. That's hilarious. It's so funny what like okay. Good. Does this work for everyone? Okay, I actually do want to change the colors of these two just because my PD arrays are the exact same colors for whatever reason.
Yeah, you
Um
can do whatever is comfortable for you.
yeah, so gray maybe. I don't use gray. That was the position of the oh, that's the border, body, gray, wick, gray. Okay. Does that work for everyone? Gray and black? Or do you want me to change different colors? Light blue for what? The up close?
For those people who I suggest for people who don't use risk sync, but that's backtest gonna all be about risk sync because that's what we want to that's what we want to teach here.
Yeah.
But that's why we for you we are uh, getting the numbers of simple 1 to 2. So this trade hit 1 to 2 are risk to reward. So if we get above 50% win rate, so it's still like
That's overwhelmingly
anywhere.
profitable. Yeah, like 50%
Yeah.
win rate at 2R is actually overwhelmingly profitable. I think that's a 0.3R expectancy, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you know trading and you know numbers, zero point 0.1 is overwhelmingly uh profitable. So,
Yes. So that's why we're following these numbers for you for those people who don't risk sync as well on the
yeah,
back test.
also I want to note here that the actual entries, right? Like this was a 7R trade idea. This was a 4R trade. Because we're trading a 1R trading idea and a 2R trading idea, and we're splitting that stop loss into three, we're getting these are like massive R's, dude. 4R and 7R. Those are great
So you need
days any day.
20%, you're profitable pretty much.
Yeah. Dude, if you're gonna tell me on any day you're not satisfied with doubling your money, you're just beyond greedy. And this is why you're probably not profitable. No, not going to sugarcoat that. Big was actually in a stream with Rackbar yesterday, telling him that 5R is like amazing, right? So everyone should be satisfied with 5R, in my opinion. And we just took a 7R trade. So let me just change all of this really quick. So we're going to document this, obviously. I just want to get all this in.
Yes, so this is a good idea, and that's why we're gonna get a separate win rate for each entry, first, second, and third, and you can pick the best one and always trade only that entry if you don't have two accounts, let's say.
Okay, Rackbar, have you gotten the payout? I'm just saying, like, for the beginning, right? Like for anyone that hasn't taken the payout and you're not satisfied with 5R, like dude, drop down to reality, right? Just float down really quick to the ground on Earth and just, we see the massive numbers that we can get in trading. We know that one point is $20 with one contract. We know we can like pretty much breathe and NQ will spit out 5K, right? But if you have not taken profit on a 5R trade and gotten a payout from that 5R trade, then I mean, you need to float down to reality, right? Touch the ground with your bare feet, ground yourself in the grass, like, and realize that you need to be taking profit on 5R trades before you can take profit on a 15R trade. Just, I will not be the one to sugarcoat that for you. All right, so I want to delete this one because that wasn't a CISD. We have this 1 hour CISD here. I just want to label all this correctly for the charts that we're saving. Wait, that was the 5-minute CISD. What am I talking about? And then we have the 1 hour sweep still in play. The 1 hour fair value gap is here. And then I want to label this the 1 hour CISD as well. All right, after we track this trade, we are going to close the session. This was more so of an introductory session, obviously. If you guys have any other questions or comments, feel free to ask away while we have Anya, especially. I'm going to just track all of this really quick. Do you want me to save the higher time frame charts in this, Anya? Do you want to see like the daily and the hourly?
I don't know. I don't think so because
We can see it here.
anybody, if they want to check, because we obviously have the PD rate, but if anybody wants to check, they can always go on the history and check it out. Like,
Yeah. She wants you guys to do the work. I want to. Never mind. I was gonna zoom into that daily. I'm just gonna label it here.
yeah, you gotta put some work to train that eye.
Yes. Chart recognition is a big deal, which is why I was saying like you should be able to see the higher time frame from the lower time frame at some point in your development. You will get there if you haven't already, but for sure, it's once you recognize it, it's very easy to see the setup. Like as soon as you see the chart, as soon as you open the chart. All right, so we're gonna do this by link. All right, hold on a second. This entry occurred, second one, sorry, first one 210, second entry 215. Oh, that's great. Not even a long wait before entries. So we have 4 entries here, 4 trades that happened. Again, if you guys have questions in the meantime, feel free to ask away. This part is tedious and it just consists of tracking the trade. So there's not much for you to see here, really. Time label. I like to just have this on the chart so that when we refer to the chart, we know what date it was. So this is Friday, January
It doesn't have
2nd. Sorry.
yeah. Sweaty spaghetti. It doesn't have much sense to resync with contracts in the same account. You can just hold the trade for 1 to 2. So we just take a position and just hold it until the hard stop. You don't need to do this shaky actions in the same account.
Yeah, the whole point of risk syncing is to spread risk across multiple accounts. Oh, sorry, Cypher. How do you structure the 3 entries? Do you draw a box from the low to the CISD and divide it into 3 parts? Yes, that's exactly how we do it. So I drew a fib here from the low to the CISD, right? This fib has 3 lines, 4 lines with the outside, right? But um, that divides it into 3 pieces. These are the settings: 33, 66, 1. Anya, you can confirm if this is correct since
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
so I'll just drop this for you guys here.
And we are backtesting these guys with 3 entries,
Yes.
but you can always split it to 2 accounts, to 4 accounts, to 5 accounts. You're just gonna have more orders and more accounts involved. But we're gonna do it for three because with 30% with because 1 to 3 is a very preferable win rate, risk to reward ratio for the very first account for the very worst scenario, 1 to 1. So 30% win rate is already giving a profitable result with 1 to 3. But you can divide it to 4 to 5 to 10 and have 1 point
Yeah,
stop
I
with
was
two.
actually gonna share that as I actually have a 10th here, right? So if you want to be like cozy level stops, 2 point stops, 3 point stops, you can always just divide it into 10, right? Obviously, you would have a ton of accounts. This is good if you have a lower budget, right? Like if you're only spending like $300 on evals a month, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to say only, but if you're spending less than $1,000 on evals per month, then you obviously want to spread your risk across multiple accounts and go slower. But if you're bankrolling, as LMT used to say, and you have a budget of 1,000 or more for evals every month, then you can increase your risk size, right? But you really want the law of large numbers to play out. Hold on a second, guys. 1 second. Sorry. Eunice, I'm about to get off. Do you want to wait for me, or you're gonna go? Okay. All right. Assalamu alaikum. All right. Bye. Sorry about that. Okay, so if you have lower budget, you want the law of large numbers to play out in your favor, right? Especially if you have a 50% win rate, you want that 50% to play out over large numbers. Otherwise, if you're only taking 2 trades, then you are more than likely going to lose those 2 trades in a row, right? Based on the possibility of losing X amount of trades per your win rate. Does everyone follow what I'm saying? Versus if you are like a 70% plus win rate accuracy type of trader, then you can probably size up higher and you have a bigger budget. You can size up higher and take less trades. But if everyone is trying to conserve, you're not trying to buy a bunch of evals, use code Kingline always, then you want to have a smaller stop. Thus, you can divide the stop loss into whatever you want. I think 3 is very reasonable, right? Because even if you have a 60 point idea, a 60 point stop loss idea, you have a 20 point stop on all three on each of those trades, right? And again, 22 points is my standard stop loss personally. In all of my journal entries, 22 points seems to be the most common type of stop loss for me. But I'm perfectly open to taking a trade up to 50 points, and that's just my taste for tolerance and my taste for the trade idea that I want to take. You have the opposing party, Cozy, she'll take like 7 point stops all day, less if she can, right? So, and Big as well. He takes also small stops, right? And so it's just what trader you are. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like Anya. You don't have to be like Cozy or Big. You can just adjust it to your budget. Do you have a lot of time to take to pass these evals, or do you have a lot of money that you want to take to pass these evals, right? And it's just approach it from whatever fits your lifestyle and your personality. Yeah, she wants the smallest stop she can. And I don't blame her, right? Like you get a bigger R with that, again requiring less accuracy. That's the main thing. You don't have to win often. And again, the thing is with like if you don't have to win often, and obviously we're always opting to like win as much as we can. We want a high accuracy, right? I just personally find that a higher accuracy comes from less R and wider stops, right? But most people, when you even if you know you can take the 7R idea very easily, most people can't coincide their feelings with losing more often. They know they don't have to win often. We know the numbers. We don't have to win often. But for whatever reason, you cannot make yourself feel good in losing often, right? And this is what causes you to tilt. So if this is causing you to tilt, then you need to adjust, right? Because if you're going to get this 15-hour trade and then tilt on the next one, what's the point of having that 15-hour trade? Hope everyone is catching my drift. Don't know if you guys are following or not. Let me get back to
100%. I fully agree with you, Jess.
okay. Thank you so much, Anya. Thanks, Cozy. Thanks, Cozy. Can you share your backtesting template for this at some point? Want to see what you are recording? Yeah, I always share it. Actually, it's already public. Um, oh, I need to publish this one. I'll publish this at the end. I need to like adjust the pictures and the cover letter and the cover photos and all that. But I'll share it in my channel at some point. So the first one was at 2:10 p.m. Do you guys want to track? We're gonna track in military. Never mind. I'm going to veto your decision. We're gonna track in military because everyone can follow that around the world. This will be.
Was it Asia? Was it 210 actually? No?
Oh, you're completely right. It was 2:10 a.m.
Yeah, it's actually 210.
not not 2:10 p.m. Thank you, Anya. Gotta love people who participate. I love having Anya here. You guys don't talk to me. Cozy talks to me too. Sorry, Cozy does talk to me as well, as does Soy and Stefan. 2:15. We don't have that as an entry. We're gonna come back to that. The exit of this trade. This exit was at 3 a.m. and this exit was at 3:10. Wow, these are quick trades. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this.
First one, I was nervous. The first one needs you work.
In all the models that I've backtested for the 5 minute chart, because I'm so strict on the criteria, like I always require a session sweep for the most part. I don't get a lot of entries, so I'm very, very much looking forward to having more entries on a 5 minute basis. So that's why I'm super excited about this model. 2:15 and 3:10. I just had to go back and do it that way because Notion is slow. See, it doesn't have the 3:10 on there yet. Duration 50 minutes, 50 minutes, 55. All right, so we are in London for all. Thank you so much, Big. Yeah, I don't think people associate their personality to trading enough. They just want to trade like whoever. They want to trade like the influencer that they follow. And the problem with that is you don't come with the same baggage. You don't have the same upbringing. You don't have the same trauma. You don't have the same wounds. You don't have that crazy ex. You don't have your batshit crazy mom, right? So, like, all of these things go into how you want to risk. This is very much the case. And since you're trying to trade someone else's risk plan, it doesn't meet your personality. And as a result, you are going to tilt when others will not. Others can walk away while you cannot. And it's that simple. That's how you build your model. I didn't do this in the right way. It's supposed to be a checkbox. Yes, soy. uh, CISD for all. They all made money. Oh, wait a second. I'm lying. Yes, we won all of these entries. Oh, wait. Hold on a second.
No, the first two we didn't.
Yeah,
I know, the
you're
first
completely
and third.
you're completely right. So entry 1 on both, we stopped out. And then entry 2, we won. Ooh, I need to change the order of these. I already see this being an issue. Wait,
Yeah,
entry.
I think so.
Wait a second. I don't have an entry. I don't have an entry 2. Entry 1, entry 2. All right, so I need to do entry 1. I need to do them by entry, not by idea. That's going to be the easiest way. Okay. So entry 1, we stopped out of both. Wait a second. Stop. Okay, yes. Wait a second. Hold on, guys. Idea entry 2. Okay, never mind. Yes, good to go. Change the state of delivery, stop loss, TP. So entry 2 TP, entry 2 TP, stop loss, stop loss. Okay, good to go. And so we got 1R on this idea. No, we got 0R on that idea. So entry 1, entry 2, we got 7R and 4R. Do you want the decimals? Does anyone want the decimals? I'll do it by the tenths, but I won't do it by the ones. How about that? So I'll do like a 4.1, 4.2. Okay, is that fair, Coz? I'll do the tenths, not the ones. Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Appreciate it. So we do a 4.04 for entry 1. Oops. I just said I wasn't gonna do the ones. Okay, 4 and 8. Sorry, 4 and
4 and
7.
7.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. This was 4, yeah, 4 and 7. Sorry. 4 and 7. And for these, we have to do a -1 actually, because we stopped out. Hold on. This was supposed to be for the max R. I'm going to do this for realize. I'm going to duplicate this for the max R. And I do think it's valuable to have the max R on there. We'll do this one. Okay. So I'm going to drop this chart first. The second chart is going to be for the max R. So we'll just see it fully extended. And I'm going to go by idea, right? So I'm not going to track the entry R. I'm going to just track the idea, how far the idea actually goes. So we'll just go. Oh my goodness.
Okay, good.
The criteria I would use to track the max R is the 1 hour sweep and CISD. So, okay, so see, we got a sweep here and a second sweep. So I'll just track it to this high here before we get a CISD. So for this, the max R would be, I'm just going to duplicate this and move it over. So keeping that same stop, the max R idea would be 5.59. So again, that's not going to match the entry, but we'll obviously see what that would have been. And you can kind of divide that into whatever. Sorry, I just said I wasn't going to do tenths. I was going to do
Because
ones.
you can also check this the first like 1R and 2R, right? The check marks on the 1R and 2R while we
Oh, yes.
where we track the full trade idea.
Yes. So we got one
But the thing
R.
is, it's hard because we don't have 4 entries. We have only basically all like I don't know how to do it actually.
For say again. So I don't. So Cozy, I don't want to do from the entry because. Let me think about this. Actually, we are organizing it by entry. We're selecting entry here. Oof. Well, I was just gonna say because it's gonna take too long. It really is the case, right? Because then I have to go and adjust the R. I have to adjust the position from every entry, which would lead me to tracking 6 potential R's for this max R, as
Yeah,
opposed
that makes
to
sense because if first entry lost and second work, it's 5 and 5. Like it still made 5, 5, and 5, right?
right. So it still made 5, and you can just that 5R you can always split, right? So sorry guys, hold on. So let me just pull this aside really quick. If we pull this 5R, right? no matter what the R is, like, or no matter how many points it is, and you split this R into 3, just like I did for the explanation of the model. Like when I was creating the sheet for the backtest, I mean for the post on the announcement. So we'll do risk sync here. So if it's a 5R trade and you're doing it from entry, right? This first entry is always going to be 6.5, sorry, 17R. Good gracious. 17R. The second entry is always going to be 18R. So forth and so forth. And this doesn't matter points wise, because as long as your R is 1 and you're dividing that R into 3, aiming for 5R, it's always going to be that fixed R that I mentioned. So 17, 18, 19R. Just like in uh the depiction that I made for the announcement of the model. When we have a 1R and 2R idea and you're splitting that R up, it's always going to be this page, right? It's always going to be 3R for the first entry, 4R, 5R. And that doesn't matter on the for the points of the stop. So likewise, you can take that max R, apply. We can make a table for that actually. So we can do like a thirds risk sync, and based on the trade R idea, yeah, we know how much R each entry would present you. That we can actually make that to go with this so that people know like what they could potentially be getting. Okay, so let me just drop this. Ooh, I don't think there we go. Because I copied this link. Oh my goodness. All right. And what I want to say here is that we did a 1 hour, we tapped into 1 hour sweep was inside of a 1 hour fair value gap, above a 1 hour PD array.
I have a
So,
question.
sure.
So when, for example, see that you see this percentage things like below like 25% on entry two, like, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
It, that is gonna show like a percentage because we actually gonna have 100% at this point, but it's
So
calculated
So this
for
will be
or
25% of trades hit entry two. But what I'm going to do is
I see.
I'm going to organize the, like, I can make additional tables, right? And I can organize the entry specifically by these entries, or I can
I see.
organize,
I
yeah,
see.
the table, and then we can just look only at entry two models or entry two trades, and
I,
only entry three trades, and blah blah blah.
yeah, that's answered that question.
Okay. All right, guys.
I just never worked.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying I just never like really worked with this backtesting tool.
Yeah, yeah. With Notion, it's super user friendly. Like, you have to create like the equation for this when you're using Sheets or whatever, which obviously, like, if anyone is experienced with Excel, it's pretty easy to do. But for those of us that don't have experience with Excel, they can just, like, it's pretty dummy proof. Like, you can change this into whatever you want. So, this would be like out of 4 trades that we took so far, only 25% of them hit entry two. So, we know that, 1 in 4 hit it. But yeah, like we'll get an idea of count. And then another thing is, like, Notion has AI, this guy down here, so we can ask it how many entries did it get on average per day and things like that, like at the end. So it'll be able to spit out a ton of information once we're done.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Okay, guys, any
Beautiful.
final questions? We are wrapping up 2 hours here. I did record the entire session. 510 macros, we decided not to track them because she doesn't really require the macro for her trade. The less
Yeah, I
things
don't
we
follow macro.
Yeah, the less things that we have to track, the easier the backtest is. This model is good for SBS because it aligns with macro delivery. Correct. And guys, if for those of you that weren't in the previous backtest, if you hit an SBS level within a macro, that's an A plus setup every single time. If you hit a 5 SBS within a macro, that has an 88% win rate. So, just saying. Irrelevant to this model, it's a lot more simple. I think it's even better because simple rules are easier to follow. But if you want to add confluences of whatever else you trade to it, you can apply it using a simple framework like this, like a simple foundation, and just applying every other confluence that you want. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Anya, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Everybody, thank you, Backtest. Jess.
Great. Thank you. Tomorrow we will be back here at 12, and we will be backtesting the rest of the week.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Joy.
everybody.
Peace, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.